Hey everyone, welcome to another SMITE ranked post-game commentary. And basically what I do here is I play out the game without my microphone on, and then I watch the recording with you afterwards and talk about things that I see, things that I do. This is kind of a different type of commentary. I'm not really involved with the game. I'm not playing it, so I'm not watching out for things, so I don't really get interrupted as much. So I can talk about things that I see, and also I mean, I'm sure it is easy for you guys to pick out mistakes that I make or mistakes the enemy team makes or anything like that when you're watching the game, but it's very difficult to be able to see these things always when you're in the game playing. You have so many things going on and whatnot, so maybe I'll be able to see a lot of things that I didn't notice or things that I could have done better, or maybe things my teammates or the enemies could have done better just in the game overall. And I have had a lot of feedback on these types of games, and I actually had a few requests, people wondering where they went, because I haven't done one in quite a while. I've just been doing first-person gameplay commentaries where I just play the game. So this is a ranked game. This is about 2400. I haven't been playing a lot of ranked games, so my rating's kind of rotting down in the 2400s. But I'm just gonna be hopping in here. I'm playing Ao Kuang. Be playing a mid. We kind of needed a magic damage dealer. I always pick last when I play my games, so I'm gonna come over here and help with the blue buff. This will give me some experience. It'll prevent them from taking a lot of damage, and it'll just really help me in the mid lane too. Because you see, I got one that dies there. Die. Yeah, so I got about half a level there, so I'll be up about half a level in experience. So I'm heading back to the mid lane here. I'm expecting to see Agni, and I don't see him, so I'm gonna let my team know immediately that the mid hasn't showed up. This is a technique, or just a thought that you really need to have. If the enemy doesn't show up to your lane, you need to be on alert and just tell it. You can see I'm freaking out here, just because it's quite possibly a very serious game here. So I want to make sure that if they're going to be group up and do a 3-person gank on someone in another lane, I can let them know ahead of time. I got a really good tornado off here on this wave, trying to push this down. The reason I didn't jump in that fire, one way to counter an Agni who uses his Path of Flames on the wave is to jump in it, and I didn't really do it there. I got a good AoE splash on that Squall to jump on the Agni. I'm going to go for the kill here, throw down the tornado. It does land on him, but I don't believe he dies, fortunately. Spoiler alert. Yeah, looks like he made it out there. So a good way to counter an Agni that dashes through at you is to jump in the fire. But I got a tornado on the entire wave, so my push was equivalent, and it was actually a little bit better even. I pushed harder than he did, so I didn't really have a need to take that extra damage just to harass him, just because his minion wave was dying. He's probably going to take a few shots from the archers anyway. So it's really important to just project out into the future as far as you possibly can. Players who've been playing for a very long time can project out into the future, 20, 30 seconds, like where's the next team fight going to happen, all that kind of stuff. But just project in the future as far as you can and try and figure out what's going to happen here. So one thing that people do complain a lot about in these types of games is no missing calls or anything. I personally believe that MIAs are a courtesy, that if someone is paying attention and gives you that call, then that's nice, but it's not required. What I did here is I asked my team to let me know if there's missings, and that way I can't really complain if they don't give it to me, because I did ask, or I'm more able to complain. But I just like to ask them, just because I know with Ao Kuang I'm going to be pushing really hard. And I get a good tornado off here. If you guys have any questions about Ao Kuang, you can check out my spotlight video or any gameplay commentaries I have for him. I'm not going to go over his abilities or any techniques for him. I'm just going to be commenting on the game. I'm already noticing how long it's taking me to explain something when something else is already happening. So you can see that my push is a lot stronger than Agni's at this point, and also up in levels because of the damage here. I'm going to get a good slow off plus a tornado. I throw out the ultimate, but it doesn't look like it's needed. The minions plus my tornado is enough. I basically threw that tornado there, or the ultimate there, in case he tried to juke or run straight into the tower, which is what he should have done. He made a mistake there by lingering too long, because he got an extra like second and a half of tornado ticks just by standing there and trying to juke so long. But even if he had played smart and tried to go straight to the tower instead of trying to beeline, he would have died anyway to my ultimate. So I got the first blood there, and I'm using my consumables as best I can, just trying to stay as long as I can. The thing is like, since you do have 2 consumable slots now instead of 1, it's actually a really good idea to utilize them as much as you possibly can, and also just linger in the lane as long as you can to get as much experience and gold as you can. Getting that early bonus in the early game. You can see he's level 4 and I'm level 6, so I have a 2-level advantage on him, and a 2-level advantage against an Ao Kuang is just something very terrifying, because Ao Kuang's push just gets better and better the longer the game goes. Not really sure why the tower turned on me there, but sometimes it happens. I'm just going to pull back a bit. I'm out of mana potions, so I know that. I'm checking the scoreboard, just figuring out what's going on. At this point, I'm waiting for ganks. Looks like the Cupid over there is going to go down. Maybe not. Just gonna get another good push off here. At this point of the game, at about 3.5 minutes to 4 minutes, you want to be making sure you're looking for ganks, because this is the point where the laning phase is developing in all the other lanes, to the point where, you know, if the enemy team gets a really good advantage against your teammates, they're going to start looking for opportunities to gank. So that's why I'm kind of like being really passive a little bit, taking advantage where I can. Looks like I have an opportunity to kill him here, so I'm going to bait a bit. I think I overshoot. Yeah, I overshoot a bit. For some reason he lingered. I was hoping he would hear my ultimate and try to juke right away, so I shot it deeper into the tower. But he kind of lingered for a little bit longer. It's really hard to land these kind of skill shots in some people, because they're just, the way they move and the way they think isn't normal. You would think that he would want to get away because he heard my ultimate, but he just stood still. So I could easily hit them with a normal ultimate. And then he got some meteors on me there. The thing is, like, if you're against an Agni or someone who has a really far range, you want to start backing up as soon as you can. You see how I wasn't really in danger of dying right away, but I knew he had an ultimate there. So I went for as far back as I could. I pulled up my skill screen there to check how much mana I needed for one more tornado. I want to get one more tornado out, get like a really good push off before I go back, so he doesn't get any damage on my tower. If you're playing the mid lane, since it is so short, you want to make sure that you push the lane back as far as you can before you leave. That way that you're buying yourself enough time to come back without having damage on your tower. So he's going to be looking for a little bit of damage here. I'm kind of just pulling back because I know I'm low on mana. It looks like he has 2 ultimates there, 2 meteors, maybe 3. I'm watching this on a little bit smaller resolution than you guys are, because I want to have all my recording stuff going. So this is a good opportunity for me to get that push I was talking about. So once I get this good push, I'll probably just back. He's going to get a stun on me and ignite. I'm not too concerned here. One ultimate's going to land, and now I'm going to run straight back, because I know if he has one more ultimate, he can hit me with it. So I want to get back as far as I can. I'm backing a bit, and I decided to change. And like I said, if you're up against someone that has really, really good range like Agni, I'm going to walk all the way back here and back instead. At this point, I have no health, no mana, and I'm about 1 meteor plus a little bit of HP from dying, so it's just not worth it. At this point, I'm choosing whether I want to go for items. I end up choosing the Gem of Isolation, just because it's so good. And here I'm deciding on an ability item, and I check the scoreboard just to make sure what I need. I would need a Beads for Cupid and on her and Agni, but I decide that I'm getting some really good farm, and I'm just going to keep pushing and get some consumables. I'm not really too worried about it on her stun. On her has to be really playing really well or catch me out of place. Ao Kuang should never be in the middle of the battle. He should be on the outside controlling. I really believe, and I firmly believe this, that Ao Kuang is a really good traffic controller. He's just very good at controlling who enters the fights and win, and he's just someone who should be playing like Train Simulator the entire time while you're playing. Because you can block off entrances, you can block off exits, you can prevent people from going in, you can split up teammates, you can split up enemies, you can just do all kinds of things with your tornadoes. Because your tornadoes are down, you really prevent people from going places. I'm getting pinged here, and I decide that they're not going to come here. I'm going to get one good push off, and it looks like Agni's missing, so I'm going to let my right lane know that he's probably heading over there. That's my first guess. I don't think he did. Vamana ult, you can tell by his icon getting taller than everyone else's. I'm coming in here and I don't see the Agni, which means he went back or he went to get a buff. And I left the mid lane because I knew the tower was going to get pushed down there with the minions. And I'm letting my team know that I'm here. I'm not going to show myself right away. There goes the Odin. I'm hoping the Odin just dives on the tower and goes. Because I keep all my tornadoes and my ultimate in there. I tell the attack and I get a really good split here on my tornadoes. But it's also in a position where the minions will walk through it. So we get a really strong push plus some harass there. Just playing Ao Kuang at a high level is really knowing where to place your tornadoes and where to place them ahead of time. Odin goes in like I want him to, but I can't really get to on her here, so I'm going to go after the Vamana. Trying to get some good damage on the Vamana. The big mistake that I made there, I threw out the ultimate in case on her was still alive back there. But the big mistake I made there is I didn't notice that Odin had gotten out of tower range. So as soon as he did, I pulled tower aggro, and I'm pretty slow in general. Ao Kuang's a very slow mover unless he has Slither up. So I got killed by the tower. That was my mistake there, but I mean, if Odin went a little bit sooner, we probably would have. I probably would have survived. So I'm kind of expecting a pretty decent game here. I'm winning the mid lane pretty hard. I already got the tower down, and at this point, there's no real open position for me to push. Left lane maybe, but Agni's pushing the mid lane pretty hard, and I don't want him to get caught up. I have that advantage, and I want to hold on to it for as long as I can. So I'm kind of lingering in the mid lane, and I'm gonna defend this tower just as adamantly as I can, to try to just make sure this tower never goes down. So Agni always has something to do in the mid lane. If he kills this tier 1 tower, he has, you know, permission to roam. Generally going for a tier 2 is a little bit harder than usual. So people usually wait until they get, you know, some groups up and stuff like that. Get a really good push off here. I'm going after the Agni. I can see the left lane's accounted for. I don't know what right lane is, but they probably are back. I'm going to go for a slam here. There's his tornado. I'm going to avoid his stun, and he's going to dash away. The tornado fortunately still hit the minions, so I'm gonna get a bunch of minions dying here. Kind of just waiting. Looks like right lane's getting attacked, but Agni went back, so that's still a 2v2. Left lane is still accounted for, so there's really not a whole lot to do but just farm and push. And that's really what you want to be doing with Ao Kuang, just because he's more of a late game type character, and he has to always stay ahead to be relevant. If the Ao Kuang's behind, then people are just going to walk through tornadoes and ignore you. So you want to have that big extra magic damage that you can have. I don't know why he's going here. Just kind of just waiting for him to use all his abilities. There it goes. I might go for an ulti here, but this guy's been really weird. Just missed again. I don't know. I've been having a lot of trouble hitting this Agni. Either I suck or he's just a weirdo, or a combination of both. You generally try to do predictions based on how the players are playing or how players normally play, but then every now and then you meet that one person that just does really weird things, so you can never hit them. I'm gonna go over here to steal this buff just because I saw the Sobek going back and I know Agni's mid. I'm just gonna steal this buff up. Probably gonna go over and help the mid lane because I want to defend this tower. I don't want him to get it. It looks like he's going after it. He might get it. Don't remember if he did or not. I think he got it really low and didn't get it. I'm gonna get an opportunity to come in here. I'm getting some mana back up with my mana potion, but not too huge. Drop this slow on him. Use it to get a tornado off. He dashed through, got the stun off, but he didn't get the path on me, so not a big deal. Not a whole lot of harass coming out from them there. Comes the meteor. Might just squall this set of archers. Keep the wave back. Odin and Cupid are still farming on the left lane, or in the right lane. There's still not a whole lot going on right now. And if you ever find yourself in this kind of position, especially in the mid lane, you want to take that advantage. Just keep farming and farming and farming. Inevitably, there will be something that happens. Something will come up. Something will happen. There's a big team fight. But you don't have to force it, especially as someone who does really well with farm. Ao Kuang definitely does really well with farm, and I heard him doing the yellow buff there, so I'm going to kind of float in the back towards the tower. But generally, if nothing's going on, you know eventually something will, so you want to be as strong as you can for when that moment comes. Right lane's pushing up pretty well. I'm stacking up some money here. I'm probably going to go and finish my Gem of Isolation first. And as the game goes, I won't go over my full item build at once. I'm just going to, as I decide to choose the items, I'll try and go over why I chose that item over a different item, and you know, my thought process in choosing the items. A lot of people do ask about, you know, what's the item build, what's the skill build, and probably the most annoying answer that anyone can give you is that it depends. But the truth is, it really does depend. I mean, there are items that are specific for every situation in the game, and even now when there's so little items, and I'm sure as this game starts to evolve and it finally does get released, there's gonna be a lot more items there are now. But even now, there are a lot of situational items, specific items you need to be getting. You know, whether you need penetration, whether you need more damage, do they have a lot of defense, a lot of health? Do you need a slow because they're getting away? Do you need defense because, you know, they don't have a lot of HP but they're doing a lot of damage, so defense will do you well? There's a lot of specific reasons for getting each item, and it really comes in time and practice. If you guys are ever wondering, you know, how to get better at a game like this, or you know, Smite specifically, the best thing you can do is just play. Just play every day. Get in a few games as much as you can, and just play. Even when you are in a rut, I've been in a rut for like the last week. I've been losing like every game. Just been playing really terribly. Just keep playing. Just keep on playing. So this happened here, and I was pretty mad about what happened here. He jumped in here and stole the blue buff. I was pretty mad about it. That's just, I don't know. There's something about that when someone runs in the last second and steals your buff. It's just like the biggest bad manner thing that could happen. It bothers me a lot. So that's why I'm kind of talking to him in chat here. I try to prevent myself from being too whiny in these games. Sometimes I get kind of mad, but that's that. I'm going to go for a good push here. Agni's not really looking like he wants to push too hard. He wants to get this tower, but dodging that stun. When you're playing against an Agni, you really want to be ready to move at any moment, you know? Like, you want to... Looks like he's going to get some good damage off here. He dashed through. He might come around. And again, since he has the range, I'm going all the way back to the end of the tower. And... Oops. Go back to as far as you can, so he's not in, like, meteor range to hit you. I probably wouldn't have died to one meteor there, but maybe if he had two, it would have killed me. Definitely if he had two, it would have killed me. So, since I'm taking a lot of damage from the Agni, And I'm not really too worried about getting focused. Like I said, Ao Kuang, you should be positioning yourself. And hopefully in these team fights, I don't really remember how I positioned myself or if I played really well. But generally, if you're playing Ao Kuang, you don't want to be in the fight. You want to always be on the outskirts. You want to be controlling entrances, exits, positioning, all that kind of stuff. And playing Ao Kuang to a high level is not about, you know, killing people. It's about just like being a traffic controller. And hopefully I'll be able to focus on that thought a bunch more throughout the game and then give you some good examples about that. I have a big, strong opinion on Ao Kuang in the competitive scene and what he's really used for. And it's not just for kills. Thor's going to come in here and get that stun on the Agni and a good slow there. So it looks like he's going to die for sure. This is why Thor is just such a strong side laner, is because he can easily gank the mid lane when he gets his ultimate. I mean, it's so hard to see it coming. Maybe as people start picking up on it and it starts becoming more commonplace, playing the mid lane, you have to expect it. There's an enemy Thor and he hits level 5, you have to be ready for it. But, I mean, it's just... if you guys tried it in a game or seen it happen, or you see a Thor that really understands that ultimate is really good for ganking other lanes, not just his lane, it's just very powerful. Coming over here, I'm going to try and get this blue buff. I think I was still a little bitter after my blue buff being stolen, so I'm going to take this buff. And I come over here and push this. You see how every time I go back to the base, I pick up more consumables. I'm leaning more towards mana potions just because I'm kind of falling back into that position where I'm going to be like sitting in the back as artillery and the controller of the situation rather than trying to be in it. A lot are missing right now. I kind of want to push this tower. If I get a good tornado off, I'll be able to clear this wave and go for that. And I head back into the jungle because I'm really just curious to see where they are. Left is missing, right's missing, and mid's missing. They're all missing. So there's a Sobek coming up. And I kind of want to hang out here because I don't want to give him a linear angle to me because he can easily hook me into the tower. And it looks like that's what he's going to be going for. So I need to be cutting corners and staying away from him. Guan Yu went in. Got the hook on me, but fortunately I still have minions in tower range. Creeping Curse goes off on me. I drop my Tornado. Oh, I didn't. These guys are just really farmed here. I'm going to turn around and run just because if I backpedal, Vamana's going to be able to take me out. Tornado lands on the minions, thankfully. And I'm looking at this, after all the damage we've just put out on them, we're not really doing anything, so I'm just going to go find a place to farm. Doing that projection thing, just looking 10, 15, 20 seconds into the future, I don't feel like we can kill them. I really don't think we have the damage, and they seem to be very high in sustainability, so I'm just going to go get this CDR buff right here. Cupid's coming over, but he's a little bit far away. Looks like Thor's gonna be going after. Just gonna back, just because I'm in a really awkward position. I was thinking that if I head back to try and help them, if they all turn around at once, they could easily pick me off. And that's something you really need to realize when you're trying to flank someone or you're trying to come in on a team fight at a weird angle. There's always that possibility that your teammates back up when you come in and everyone you're trying to flank turns around and attacks you. And as someone like Ao Kuang, you'd really want to be in that position. You always want to be in the back, preferably on your side and somewhere out of vision. I see the Sobek here, going to be coming in. There's the Cupid as well. My focus is the Cupid, just because he's the squishiest. So I'm going to throw the Tornado here, but he dashes out of it before it goes. That was a really good reaction by him. And now I'm kind of just like zoning him at this point. Going to be going after the Vamana here. You see I'm kind of floating to the left side, trying to avoid as many attacks as I can, but I'm using myself as bait. I want them to come after me. I'm a pretty easy target, so they keep coming after me. They're going to be doing that. And my goal here is just to keep landing tornadoes, keep landing slows, just trying to do the best that I can. Want to get something off here. There's a tornado so that they retreat. I know they're going to retreat because we have the numbers advantage, so I hope they walk through that. Vamana ends up walking through it. Sobek's getting low here. I was preparing my Squall in case that was a stun from the Cubic. There's the throw from the Sobek, and I get a really good tornado off on there. It looks like a kill goes down. There's a double kill, and I'm waiting for my ultimate because I'm waiting for him to come through. So I'm going to ultimate through the wall and just predict it here, and it looks like it's a really good shot. So there's a triple kill for me. But just that whole time, I was just floating on the outside, throwing down tornadoes, throwing down slows, trying to put out as much damage as I can. I wasn't really focusing on one person mainly. Ao Kuang is, without a doubt, not an assassination character. He's not an Agni, he's not an Anubis. He's not one of those characters where he's really meant to just pick someone off immediately. He just has a lot of good damage, a lot of good control, and he can just slow down the fight and prevent people from doing what they want to do. And that's really where his strength is. And it's not just jumping in and trying to kill someone. So that's what I was doing. I was just floating on the sides, just trying to keep them occupied and keep them committed, and just keep dishing out as much damage as I possibly can. This Agni came in. Right when I walked in the lane, I decided to turn around and run back into the jungle immediately. The natural reaction would be to run towards my tower, but I know he would have stunned me if I did that, so I ran back into the jungle. That's what happened there. Odin ran in. So they want to go for the Gold Fury just because they're over there, but it looks like he got there in time. So I picked up the Rod just because I have the slow from the gem and I have my boots done. And I'm noticing that there isn't really any huge threats to my person at this point in time. So I just want to put more damage. I want to get as much damage out as I possibly can, and Rod's a great way to do that. So I'm waiting for a good opportunity here. I missed that slow, unfortunately. I throw out a tornado and turn around and run. Thor looks like he's going to make it out, but Odin's a little bit caught. This is what happens. This is what I was talking about earlier. When you try and flank, and then your teammates back up, and you just get turned around on. So that's going to be that. I'm just going to take the picks that I can get. I'm going to get some damage out on the Vamana. Fortunately, he steps back into that tornado. Odin jumps out. Looks like he's pretty tanky. Thor's coming back in, and still, I'm just waiting. I'm always making sure that there's people in front of me. There's always someone tankier than me in front of me. I'm always in the back. All of your abilities have a very significant range to them, so you should never be worrying about initiating or being the first one in or being in the middle of the fight. You can always sit on the outskirts, throw down tornadoes. And this is a big opportunity here. What I want to do is I want to make sure that I put a tornado down that splits them. Since Guan Yu's ulting, I'm going to throw a tornado behind him, so if the team wants to come help Vamana, they're going to have to walk through my tornado. And this is one of the big things about Vamana, or Ao Kuang, that a lot of people don't realize. You can see how the team fight's scattered now. That's because on her and Cupid in the back, if they wanted to come participate, they would have to walk through the tornado. And you can split team fights that way. I'm going to throw another tornado down here, get it on the Sobek. He's the Vamana. I'm going to back up again. I'm just sitting on the outskirts. I'm never part of the fight. I'm always on the outskirts, just throwing out tornadoes, throwing out slows, doing as much as I can from the edge. I never involve myself in the middle of the team fight. I'm not really going for anyone specific either. I'm just constantly putting out damage, isolating people. Cupid and On Her might want to come in here, but there's a tornado in that corner that they can't really deal with. Thor's going up, so I'm getting ready. I hear him, so I want to make sure I put a tornado down right where he stuns. Throw that tornado down, get it on all three of them. Thankfully, this might be a double kill. On Her throws in the ultimate. You can see how On Her and Cupid came back, but they were late, and that's because I threw down that tornado way behind them. I was hoping he was going to cut right there, so that was my fail predict. But since I put that tornado in the back towards their side, On Her and Cupid were isolated from their team. If they wanted to come attack us, they would have to walk through a tornado, which would have done significant damage to them because they're squishy. You're never really trying to isolate the tanks, because the tanks will usually just walk through tornadoes and laugh. But the squishies like On Her and Cupid, they really don't want to walk through a tornado, especially from level 18 Ao Kuang in this situation here. That was a really good wall there from the Thor. Looks like we're going to take out this Vamana. And then my tornado jumps on him. So yeah, I mean, if you're playing Ao Kuang and you're in a team fight, the biggest thing, I mean, I'm probably going to stress this. I've probably stressed it like 3 or 4 times already. You just want to just control. Don't focus on any one person. Don't try to get a kill. Just try and do as much AoE damage as you can and control the movement of the fight. That's what Ao Kuang is just really, really good at. Come over here, get this blue buff. I'm going to head back in the middle of the storm. Let's see what I end up going for here. I'm probably go for some penetration. Yeah, there we go. They're doing a lot. They have a lot of HP and a lot of protection. I'm not having any trouble doing damage to On Her or Cupid or Agni for that matter. It's just Sobek and the Vamana that I'm having trouble killing. So I want to get a little bit of penetration. And getting the Obsidian Shard allows me to do true damage nearly, because none of them really have a high amount of magic protection. They probably have, 100 to 120 at the most. So I just want to do as much true damage as I can, just because I'm not too worried about doing damage, because the squishies I can still kill. You never want to gauge how much damage you do by how much damage you do to their tanks. And I'm going to back up here. I want to stop the Agni from joining the fight. And again, I'm just doing my traffic controller job as Ao Kuang. I'm making sure that, I turned around because they're doing some good damage there. I'm just keeping Agni from joining. I want to make sure that, it's like a big roughhouse fight in the middle of the room. I want to make sure that no extra people jump in and start punching people or blindside anyone. So I'm coming over here. Cupid's going to get the ultimate down. I want to get a good tornado here, but they split, unfortunately. Thor's going in. I'm just kind of trying not to get isolated. Unfortunately, here I run backwards. I should have ran to my team, but also my team should not have been diving so hard for a single kill. I take a really bad route here. I should have ran towards my team in the mid lane. Looks like I'm going to end up going down here. Yeah, the Agni got the Path of Flames. I did some good damage there, but I mean, that was partly my mistake for the bad pathing, and partly their mistake for diving a kill, like literally into their Phoenix. They went up in the top right corner of the screen. They went up towards the Phoenix and then back to the tier 2 tower, which is just a terrible route. And they're going to suffer for it with me down. And they didn't even get the kill that they wanted over there. So now they're just getting split. They're getting damaged. So that was just like a poor positioning by them and a poor route by me. Thor's going to get out here, looks like. Guan Yu's going down. Yeah, we lost 2 there. Plus me 3. Just for that weird split. So if you guys are looking for, maybe you're watching these, like you have a clan or a team, you're looking for good strategies or good ways to win team fights. The biggest thing is always want to move as a unit, focus on the same person, you focus fire the same person, but never split. You want to make sure you stick together. Even if a kill gets away, unless it's a high value target, sometimes it's best just to let it go, because then if they're really low, if they decide to come back in the team fight, you can pick them off. But if you split, you're exposing your squishies and allowing that going down. I'm just checking here on the scoreboard, I'm checking the protections that they have. Got my dry bear coffee. Thor's gonna be heading out here. But yeah, so far I'm doing good. I'm getting some good farm. I'm not too concerned. I'm probably gonna start joining more team fights instead of pushing, just because I'm getting some good farm here. I noticed. I mean, Guan Yu or Odin should be buying the wards here, but I noticed that I'm solo queuing in a ranked game, so I just went ahead and bought the wards myself. But if you're in a support position, support tank, especially Guan Yu really should be buying the wards. Without those wards, we can't really get much. I'm kind of irritated after that last split, so I want everyone to come together. Thor's farming the right lane as we're getting initiated on, so I'm just being really obnoxious here. Just being super obnoxious. I'm going to go ahead and throw out a ward here. Luckily, I catch a whole bunch of wards here. I don't know why they had so many, but just warding that fire giant. That way they don't know we're coming. Another ward there gets taken out. Throw down a good tornado, and then I'm just going to back up as far as I can, because there's a lot of damage coming out here. Initiation. Agni's going to come after me. Back up here. I noticed they're not after me anymore by the mini-map, so I turn around, and I'm just never involving myself. I want to stick on the outside, do as much AoE damage as I can. I don't run the same way as Thor. Unfortunately, he turns around and runs the way I go, but I wanted to split up so they couldn't get some good isolation. Guan Yu is going so hard. He's a brave man. Man. Guan Yu. It's always a Guan Yu, isn't it? Isn't it always a Guan Yu that just has like the heart of a lion? That has the heart of on her. Coming out here. I really like this skin, by the way, the Typhoon skin. It's actually the only favor-based skin that I've bought in so far, just because I really like it. They're going for the Fire Giant, and I do something really stupid here. Generally, if you're playing a ranked game, you want to turn off that thought process in your brain where, like, I should try and do this even if it's stupid. I'm trying to steal the Fire Giant. Agni catches me here, gets a stun off. I didn't even get the Fire Giant. I was just random guess, too. I Aegis the flames there, but it wasn't enough. Agni's just super tanky. He's going for some good support defensive items. Or just smack him in the face with Mjolnir. Gets the kill, but they're in a bit of trouble here, so they need to get back. I let them know to retreat. Cupid ultimate goes down, but doesn't stun anybody. Yeah, he has reinforced boots and then a void stone. So they got the Fire Giant, and we just need to be careful here. I still have wards. I might buy more wards. I don't really remember what I did, but yeah, I might buy a little bit more wards. Just trying to keep the vision up. The biggest thing about improving in these games is just doing what your team needs rather than, you know, Guan, you should be buying the wards, so I'm not going to buy wards. You just need to buy wards if they're needed. Ultimate's coming in here. I'm still down for 30 seconds, so this is a very poor engagement for them. I don't know if they should be going here. And Thor actually, like I said, if you try and flank and your team doesn't know about it, you're going to get jumped on. See how Guan Yu is full HP, full mana, and not really helping, and Thor just got immediately turned around on. Guan Yu's going to be ulting here, which might save Thor, but it's a weird cooldown use. They should just be getting back. I don't know why. If you're in this kind of situation and you don't have any like potential kills around you, you should just be getting back. The only person they could have killed there was Cupid, but there's just so much alive. So I'm back up here. Go ahead and head out. Grouping up in the mid lane. They're getting a lot of HP, so I'm just gonna try and just do as much damage as I can. I don't know if I can save the Guan Yu here. I'm gonna wait for my ultimate. I was gonna wait for my ultimate and try and bait them down that hallway, but he got hooked by the Sobek. I'm gonna try to come back here, and again, I'm just being really careful about the flank. If they decide to turn around, which they probably will. I think they did. Yeah, Cupid turns around. I got the tornado off. I Aegis the pop on the ultimate, and I throw out that on the Cupid, but it does not get the kill, unfortunately. He's really close. That was a hard shot too, shooting it around the Sobek there, but I just barely made it. Got the tail up right before the tornadoes went off. He's gonna walk through this. And this part was actually very, very frustrating. Put on the ultimate. Check the mini-map. Look at the mini-map. What's Odin doing? What's Odin doing? Oh, he's getting green. What's that? Free kill? No, I want green. I want green, man! I want a green buff! I don't want to kill. And I'm just like obnoxiously pinging him here. That's really frustrating when people do that. It's like one of my second most annoying pet peeves is when like you're fighting someone and someone's farming next to you. So I'm BMing him right now. Just being obnoxious like I normally do. Heading back here. Still saving up my money. I got some consumables to get. Finishing off the obsidian shard there. For my next item, I kind of need a big boost in damage. I don't remember what I did, but I think it's Polynomicon. And it's kind of weird that I'm like predicting what I would do, because obviously I can predict what I do because it's me. So I think I went for Polynomicon here. Go for the Sobek here, get some good damage out. The Thor ult lands down, but gets the stun off on him. Some good damage in the Sobek. Sobek ults, so I'm trying to stay as far away as I can. So really good damage coming out there. I bet get this with the Squall. And turn around, jump on the Cupid. What I want to do is I want to put the tornado behind him so he has to walk through it. I get that off on him, thankfully. The damage is coming out. Really good block there by the Thor. He dashes out. I have an ultimate in 10 seconds, so I'm kind of waiting for that if I have to. There's the damage coming out. Probably I'm going to get the tornado off here. Missed the Squall, but the tornado got it. Just really easy picks there. And thankfully Thor's like coming with me. Throw up a ward here and then try and go for their blue. The blue's not there, but I mean, this is a good practice if you're solo queuing or you're duo queuing or anything like that, where you're playing with people you don't know. A really good practice is just to buy wards and ward yourself, just to make sure you know that if you're gonna do something risky like steal a buff or something like that, you have wards anyway. That way you don't have to rely on anyone. So I'm gonna come over here, try and get the slow off on me on her. He stuns me before the tornadoes go off. I'm gonna get the tornado off, thankfully. He's gonna Aegis in this, but this is a really poor idea. The tornado should kill him. There it goes. The thing about the Aegis amulet is it's not really going to save you if you're surrounded. And good players, like, you know, if I was playing like a Hebo or something like that, or anything with a skill shot that's hard to land, like if he was high HP, I could have ulted there. The thing about the Aegis amulet is that you need to use it to avoid something, not just to like, oh crap, I'm dying, and you pop it, because then, you know, a good player's just going to sit there and wait, and now you're stuck. You're literally, there's nowhere you can go, and he's going to land a skill shot on you without having to try. Yawni's coming in, so I decided to cancel my back and try and go for some harassment here. But we need to be careful because they're all coming back up here. Plus the Sobek's coming, and I'm kind of avoiding that. See how I kind of put the tornado down and force them to go around it or stay? I mean, there's just a lot of control that Ao Kuang has in team fights and positioning. Let's see what I go for. I think it's Polynomicon. Yeah, I went for Polynomicon. So what the Polynomicon does is give me a little bit more burst. I'm noticing that they have a lot of HP, and as my magic damage goes up, you see I have 550 magic damage right now. That if I land an auto attack in between my abilities, it'll really. I was like scribbling on the Odin. I don't even know what it's doing right now. But if you remember to utilize the Polynomicon effectively, and you have a lot of magic power already, it gives you a big boost in damage, which is really what I'm looking for here. Try to get the tornadoes down. Luckily, it gets it off of a mana. The Cupid does go down, which is a good pick. And again, I flanked, but my team wasn't ready for it, so I immediately get turned around on. I'm trying to run to my team. I'm ultimate through and run through it. Lands on the Vamana and the Sobek, but I'm probably going to die to the Sobek ultimate here. Really nothing I can do. The problem that I saw there is that mainly that was my fault. I mean, I really couldn't blame that on anyone. My team probably shouldn't have been focusing the Vamana in general, but I think that was just my fault. I flanked from a really bad position, and like I've been saying, you really need to focus on, if you're going to flank, make sure you have enough power to kill someone outright or just make something very game-changing happen. Otherwise, they can possibly just turn on you. And this is a mistake that a lot of players make. They kind of just, they see an opportunity to kill someone, but then their team backs and all of a sudden they're surrounded. And it happens a lot. It was a decent block by the Thor. I'm just wondering, good AoE coming out too. Might get that pop off on Sobek if that's a stun. It was not a stun. When you're playing Cupid, you want to make sure you get as many stuns up as you can. If they're not in, like, you're not going to be getting away. I mean, that stun is huge if you can remember to get those attacks off. Same thing that goes for Agni. Make sure you attack 4 times before using abilities, because that dot really does make a lot of difference. Apparently I'm talking to you from the past. because I recorded this. I guess I was so frustrated with this Odin who's just standing here that I'm talking about it. Dry Bear is sickened apparently. I didn't realize I did that. Okay, so Dry Bear's childish. That's what you need to take away from all this. Wait, I'm dead. Don't kill it. Don't kill it, I'm dead. Generally, if you're taking out a buff like the Fire Giant, you always want to make sure that the most amount of people that are going to be up to get it. So if someone's like going to be up in a 60 seconds, the team's coming in, don't worry about it. But other than that, I was up in 10 seconds. They should have waited, and they did. So we got a good team fight coming up here. Looks like Cupid went to check the Fire Giant by himself. This is one of the big things too. You need to make sure you have wards up, and if you don't, it's never worth it just to go look. I mean, you don't have to go looky-loo at the Fire Giant to know, especially if you're not a tank. If you're someone like of high value, like a carry or, you know, a magic damage dealer, you really just gotta wait. I mean, if they get the Fire Giant, they get the Fire Giant. It's not worth your death. So see Thor's ulting here. I'm ready for it to come down. I'm waiting because I get a free tornado out. And I look up. I'm like, are you gonna go? He jumps behind them. I don't want to go past the tower here. I want to stay as far back as I can. He's going crazy. The tower goes down, so I go in. Get a good tornado off here to kill the wave, but also to get some good control and zoning there. You can see how the two in the back, a squishy ended up, I think it was, I don't know who it was back there. It might have been on her, but he got the tornadoes on him and he actually had to retreat, which means now it's like a 3v2 or a 4v2 with me, Sobek, and Vimana. Yeah, I think it was on her. On her, nope, it was on her. I guess it was Cupid. Cupid or someone else ended up walking on the tornadoes. It cleared the wave, and then they walked on the tornadoes. They had to leave. So it's just really huge. And take out those minions there, just so there's some clarity. Vimana's getting really aggressive here, so we should be harassing him really hard. Very defensive, though. You see how I landed the tornadoes on the Agni. And one thing you'll notice when you get to a Phoenix attempt here, one thing you'll notice that I do is I really try to block off the entrances. Even if, see, there's no one there, but now Agni can't come back. If he wants to come back, he'll also have to walk through the tornadoes. You can do things, do this on both sides. Just block off the entrances. Even if it doesn't land on anyone, I mean, I'm not really concerned about putting my tornadoes on the tanks that are still outside the Phoenix. I'm concerned about the squishies who do a lot of damage coming in. So I'm just going to keep throwing up my tornadoes, and you'll see that throughout the rest of the game. I'm just throwing up tornadoes and just blocking off entrances. And this is what Ao Kuang's so good at. I mean, literally, there's been so many times, I don't know if you guys do this yourself, but if you're trying to go somewhere and there's a tornado, you wait. I mean, if your entrance is blocked, you just wait. So now that's, you know, you basically prevented the enemy from helping each other. So I run back, get a good tornado there, prevent his exit, and he steps on it. So now if Agni comes back in, he's slowed. So I got the damage there. I try to snipe the Agni, but it was just a bit short. A lot bit short, actually. Try to get the slow off, but he dodges it. Get that on there. And still, I'm trying to participate in the middle of the fight as little as I possibly can. I want to make sure that I'm always on the outside. I don't get visually seen. And this is kind of a... See, I'm going to throw down another one in the thing. That didn't get on anyone at first, but now, since we're retreating, if they decide to come through, they're going to have to walk through tornadoes. You see, there's a Sobek. Not a Sobek. I think there was a Cupid. I can't tell. That was an Agni. There was an Agni on the other side of the tornado, and if he wanted to pursue us, he'd have to walk through a tornado. So he was prevented from pursuing us there. I get knocked up, but get knocked down. When I get up again, I'm gonna go down here. They're kind of just watching me. There I go. Thor and Odin were diving somewhere. I don't really know why. I'm just spamming because I'm frustrated again. Finish off that Polynomicon. Get that all down. Probably gonna go for Heavenly Agility just to get me off that Sobek ultimate. Sobek coming in here. So earlier I was talking about before something crazy happened. I was talking about an advanced tactic that kind of comes about at, you know, like super high level of play. I'm not that great at it myself. I try to do it as much as I possibly can, but I'm not that great at it myself. And it's the idea of the psychological and physiological aspects of playing a game. So positioning yourself so you're visually not the first target they focus. I mean, obviously being on the outside is good, but if you're like hiding behind a wall, or you're hiding behind someone big, or you're behind minions or something like that, if you can't visually be seen, then you can't be focused. I mean, there's a mental aspect that goes into it. People focus the squishiest target they see, or possibly the first target they see. So like low to mid tier players will focus the first target they see. Mid to high tier players will focus the best target, the most useful target for them, so they'll try and dive past someone. They'll see a squishy, like a carry or a magic damage dealer, and focus them. And then like really high, like professional players, if you ever watch games, they position themselves in ways where they're not even like on the minds of the person they're up against. You know, they're behind a wall before the team fight starts, so that even if someone wants to use a spell, they don't even see them. Just physically, they're not seen. It's something you can kind of practice with. If you're ever, you know, you playing against players that are diving past your tanks and attacking you, you want to try and wait out of line of sight or in a way where they're not going to focus you. I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm pinging something. They're going to the fire giants. Okay, hopping in here. This is a good opportunity for us if they do decide to go in. I'm going to wait here on the outside. Thor's going to be going in, waiting for an opportunity. Thor ended up jumping right back down, unfortunately. Vamana's caught out here, so we want to do as much damage as we can to him. I want to get as far away as I can because I know there's going to be some follow-up for the enemy team. I used my Aegis on the pop and the ulti there. Oh, I remember what happened. I was actually on the phone. I was on the. If you ever wondered what the hell I was doing, I was on the phone this time. I actually had a really important phone call during that team fight, and that's why I was standing still at the tier 1 tower. I remember now. I was actually on the phone that whole time. So I think I'm still on the phone right now in the game. That's why I was just like kind of running around like an idiot. Yeah. Hopefully they clean this up. Can't remember how long this game lasted, but so after the Polynomicon, they're doing a lot of damage, but I don't know if I need any defense. I might go for some magic lifesteal, maybe like a Pythagram's piece or something like that, but I'm not really sure what I'll need specifically. Let's see what I end up going for. I have the slow, I have some good damage. I might go for a little bit more damage. I have the rod as well, and the Polynomicon really increases my damage by a lot. Sobek's coming in. Go Sobek, go! Gets that pop off on him. He's trying to get some damage in here, trying to steal it, but this is probably one of the reasons why we're doing so good right now. People keep doing things like this. Down he goes. That was silly. I mean, he had no chance of stealing it there. Sobek doesn't do a lot of damage. So, I mean, if he was someone that could have jumped in like a Bastet and then stolen it, or tried, or someone with like a really powerful ultimate like an Ao Kuang or a Ra, or a Hebo, probably could have tried, but other than that. So I'm kind of sitting still here. I think I'm still on the phone. Yeah, I just got back. I think I put the phone down now. This was a good game. A lot of mistakes on my part. Mistakes all around, things I can talk about. And then some good team fights and some really controlled engagements. So some good opportunity for commentary. That's why I'm doing this one. And I might start doing a little bit more ranged commentary. I know you guys are looking forward to more Smite content, so I'll probably do more of these. These take a little bit more time because obviously I have to play the game and then record after it. And then I'm just sitting in my chair right now watching this, talking about it. Get that good there. Agni's coming in. And we have a Guan Yu behind him, so hopefully he can go after this. Try and get the slow off. There's the slow. Try and get the tornado. There's the tornado. There's an on her. One good habit you can get into is if you're looking for, like you're on the eve of an engagement. Oh, Guan Yu needs to get back. Guan Yu, you're crazy, man. Thor's going to be going in here. I'll cover that thought in a second. I want to see what happens here. Stun goes down on the Agni. I guess that's pretty well, and I threw out the tornado. Now Agni's not involved. He might come back in, but that's it. Cupid is so exposed here. Poor positioning from him. I would say one of the biggest marks of a very good physical damage carry is just positioning. That's the first thing you need to learn. I mean, it's not farming is really important, but I think positioning is just so huge as a physical carry. Get that slow off. Oh, I didn't end up getting it. We're trying to push this down here. Odin's just doing his Odin thing. Broden. So you see how I threw that out there? I'm not concerned about doing damage to Vamana or Sobek, but now you see how On Her can't play. On Her cannot come out to play at this point because that tornado's there. He's stuck. He literally cannot participate. Now he can participate, but I'm just going to throw down another tornado. So now that's going to land on him, do some damage. But now, and that's if they want to retreat, they have to go through it. That's the biggest thing about Ao Kuang. It's just the fact that you can cut off entrances. You can do all kinds of things like that. Check the recording, so I'm not entirely sure if Yeah, looks like it's gonna be ending here. Let's see. Yep, gonna pop that ultimate. So thanks for tuning in, guys. If you want to see more of these, go ahead and comment down below, and don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe.